and I'm sure we can proclaim the palmist, with the palmist who wrote these following words: "The Lord is my strength and my shield."
Sorry, did he just call the book of Psalms the book of palms? Now, I mean, you don't even have to be Pope Francis to know how to pronounce the word Psalms.
How many times do you have to prove we can't be trusted? How many times do you have to prove we can't be trusted?
The breaking news that we're following: classified government documents found inside one of President Biden's private offices. The records dating from Biden's time as vice president during the Obama administration.
How could anyone be that irresponsible? Isn't that what this president says about mishandling classified documents?
The president spoke to this personally. He spoke to this personally. He believes that classified documents and information should be taken seriously. He takes them seriously, and he was surprised to learn by any records. I disagree. Here's what happened once his. Well, let me explain to you the process. Here's what happened when his lawyers found out that the documents were there. They immediately turned them over to the archives.
But they
immediately turned them over to the archives. I'm not gonna go into specifics, but what I am reiterating to you is what you heard from the president yourself.
How can President Biden be trusted moving forward with America's secrets?
Because his lawyers, his team did the right thing.
But he had a closet with classified
his lawyers
information in
did
it
the
that
right.
they found.
Again. He was surprised that the records were there. He spoke to this personally. He was surprised that the records were there.
Undercut the president's promise of transparency that these documents were not revealed for several months after the White House discovered them.
But look, so when his lawyers realized that these documents were there, they turned them over to the archives. They did the right thing. They turned them over. All I can say is what the president said yesterday. I would refer to his comments. But they did the right thing by, once they learned of them, they turned it over. They turned it over to the archives.
The president was asked yesterday, but did not answer this part of the question. Why didn't he or someone in the White House inform the American people when these documents were discovered on November 2nd? Did it have anything to do, because people are asking this part of it, did it have anything to do with the fact that the election was just a few days away?
Again, Ed, this is under review by the Department of Justice. It is literally under review right now. As I am talking to you, it is under review.
But there's another thing. There was nothing stopping the President of the United States from disclosing the discovery of these classified documents in his former office before it was under Justice Department review.
What I can tell you right now is what the president is share with you what the president said to all of you, right? Which is he was surprised by this.
You saw the photograph of the top secret documents laid out on the floor at Mar-a-Lago. What did you think to yourself looking at that image?
How that could possibly happen, how anyone could be that irresponsible. And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? By that I mean names of people who helped, or etc. And it's just totally irresponsible.
One thing that President Biden said is basically that he stored the documents in filing cabinets that could be locked. Let's listen.
All the stuff that was in my home was in filing cabinets that were either locked or able to be locked.
Daniel?
Just not true, John. This report from the special counsel includes photos. Those photos include shots of a box just sitting in President Biden's Delaware garage. The special counsel described it as a badly damaged box sitting amid household detritus. So there was some material that was in cabinets, locked or lockable, as the president said, but all of it certainly not.
Okay, another claim that President Biden made: none of the documents were highly classified. Let's listen.
none of it was high classified. Didn't have any of that red stuff on it. You know what I mean? Around the corners? None of that.
Daniel?
That claim that he didn't have any material that was quote-unquote high classified is also not true, John. The special counsel's report says that the president possessed multiple highly classified documents that were indeed marked as being highly classified documents, including some marked as top secret /SCI, sensitive compartmented information. That is a very high level of classification.
And then the third claim that he made, Daniel, there, was that he did not share classified information with a ghostwriter on a book he was working on. Listen to that.
I did not share classified information. I did not share it.
With your ghostwriter?
With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guarantee you did not.
But the special counsel said it.
No, he did not say that.
Okay.
He did not say that.
So he's entitled to say he didn't do it. He can defend himself. But he also said the special counsel didn't say that he did share that classified info with the ghostwriter. Except, John, the special counsel did say that explicitly. Her wrote, quote, Mr. Biden shared information, including some classified information from those notebooks with his ghostwriter. So there it is in black and white.
Hunter Biden, Smith & Associates sent over $1 million to free up their family members. Any reaction?
It's not true.
It's not true. It's not true.
Glenn Kessler from the Washington Post had a fact check about Joe Biden from earlier this month, noting that Hunter Biden admitted in court in July that he was in fact paid substantial sums from Chinese companies. Kessler wrote, Hunter Biden reported nearly $2.4 million in income in 2017 and $2.2 million in income in 2018, most of which came from Chinese or Ukrainian interests. But this directly goes against what Joe Biden said in the debate in 2020 with Donald Trump. Take a listen.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China.
Once you
None of that is
president,
true.
he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is simply
and various
not
other places.
true.
So it's from two different debates, but I mean, Trump was right. I mean, he did make a fortune from China, and Joe Biden was wrong.
Classic Trump. We have 4 days left, and all of a sudden there's a laptop. There's overwhelming evidence that from the intelligence community that the Russians are engaged.
I still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation at his smear campaign, like you said.
Yes. I know you'd ask it. I have no response. Another smear campaign. It's the last-ditch effort in this desperate campaign to smear me and my family. The vast majority of the intelligence people have come out and said there's no basis at all.
Laptop, for example. The deep state lied to us. The so-called 51 former intel officials all saying it was Russian disinformation. 4 years later, Joe Biden's own Department of Justice is using that same Hunter laptop as evidence in a courtroom to prosecute his own son.
Trump says he's smart for finding ways to use the tax law as is provided. It bothers you.
I thought it was about making sure you did your part for your country. I grew up in a household where my father used to say when someone talked, and it never made any real money. And they'd say, I'm paying this or that in tax. My dad would say, it's a small price to pay. Since when does somebody who lives at the top of the world in the penthouse overlooking the world be in a position where he doesn't feel any obligation at all to pay any federal income tax, to support the military, to support education, to support our foreign policy? Since when is that a patriotic thing to do? Ask your son.
Now let's look at how things have changed. Now Hunter Biden is looking at 9 separate charges: tax evasion, tax fraud, and non-payment of taxes. And really importantly, these two, there's 1 count of evasion, 2 counts of fraud. These are felonies now, much more serious. Tax evasion carries a max sentence of 5 years. Fraud carries a max sentence of 3 years. Nobody gets the max, but much more serious than before. Now, if we look at the indictment, this alleges a scheme covering 4 years, 2016 through and including 2019. The allegation is that during that time, Hunter Biden made around $7 million in income, primarily from foreign companies in Ukraine and China. Doesn't allege that those were bribes, does not allege Hunter Biden was engaged in illegal influence peddling as a lobbyist, but makes clear he did not do actual work meriting $7 million worth of income.
He made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is simply
and various
not
other places.
true.